Hi friends, welcome to my channel. For those of you that are new here, my name is Katelyn and I like to film eyeshadow palette ranking and review videos, as well as the occasional other content sprinkled in. So if you like indie makeup, if you like eyeshadow palettes, if you like me, I highly recommend that you hit that subscribe button because I post 2 videos every single week. And for those of you that are not new here, my face is happy that you're seeing it again. And that might be the fastest I have ever done that intro. Just like, bam, right, super fast. Anyways, as you can see by the title, well, actually, I might need to explain this one a little bit, but maybe you knew this based on the title. I am going to revisit the palettes that I purchased in April. I mentioned this in another video of mine recently where I said I want to, each month I'm on a, what is a low buy for me, probably not a low buy for most people, but a low buy for me. I'm limiting myself to 3 to 4 palettes per month that I can purchase. And so each of the following months, I want to revisit the palettes that I purchased the prior month, if that makes sense. So for example, posting this in May, these are all of the palettes that I purchased in the month of April that I want to use again, showcase on my channel one more time. So I'm going to do a quick tutorial with each palette and so you get an extra look inspiration with it. If you're looking for reviews, you'll probably find that more in either the first impressions videos with these palettes if I posted them, or my monthly ranking videos, or the Palette Palooza videos. Once I, finish reviewing more of these palettes, I will have another one of those up. But anyways, that is, I think, all of the business. If I have any codes or anything, you can find all of that in the description box down below, or I will pop them up on the screen if I remember. But I think that's all the business that we need to talk about. So let's go ahead and get on into it. Okay, look one, we are starting with the Melt Cosmetics Smoke Sessions 2 palette because I'm going to the Phoenix Suns playoff game. It is round 1, game 3, first game that is in Phoenix, and I'm going, and I'm very excited. It's, mom and dad date night out. So anyways, I am wearing the Kohl wig from Chelsea Smith Cosmetics. I think this is sold out, but if it's not, there you go. It's called Kohl. Okay, I'm going to take the shade Purple Skunk, and I'm going to just fluff that all over the lid. I debated pulling in using a neutral palette today, but I said, you know what? We gotta wear purple, so let's go. I swear this shade surprises me every time. Why is it way more purple than I think it's going to be? I was like, oh yeah, it's neutral. No, it's not. I had the same reaction when I did my first impressions. Oh, goodness. This is only my second time playing with this palette, so I don't really have a ton of thoughts yet. It's so funny because I feel like I do my makeup like 4 days in a row, and then I don't do it for like a week. I don't know. Time when you're on maternity leave, or I'm sure for those of you that are stay-at-home parents, like, time just moves differently. I'm like, what is happening? Like, something can simultaneously feel like it was just yesterday and then also at the same time. Maybe all parents experience that, but I just feel like I don't have like work to go, like there's no, I mean, I have my baby on like a little bit of a schedule, but that's about it. Otherwise, there is no schedule to my life currently. And now I'm just fluffing that. I lightly put this on this brush and we're just blending it out with itself. Okay. And I'm okay that this matte isn't like perfect because I don't know. Actually, maybe I'm not okay with that. Hold on. The shade is so interesting because you guys just watched me use one shade to do this look, but it definitely feels like I used 2. Was this brush not clean? I don't know. No, because when I pack it with this heavier brush, or like more densely packed brush, I should say, it definitely applies more purple, whereas when you blend it out, it has a little bit more of that neutral tone to it. It's weird. It's a weird shade, man. I am going to pull in the Haze Reflect Gel Liner. This also launched with the Smoke Sessions 2 collection. I just wanted to do something that was purple, but not, I don't know. I've really been feeling like more low-key looks lately. I don't know if it's because I'm limited on time or what. This is also very creamy. I kind of want to try... Let's see what Monster Cookie, ooh, this is soft, and Northern Lights look like. This one's fun. I'm like, do I just want to, I don't know. See, I kind of like how Northern Lights has like that blue, more like blue hue to it. And so it feels slightly brighter. Oh, you want to know something cool? My dogs ate all of my cotton rounds that I had up here. Awesome. I was about to say joke's on them because I have more, but joke's going to be on me because they're probably going to eat these too. I probably should have figured out what shimmer I wanted to use before I did the liner, but I thought I was just going to do the liner, but I don't know. It's just not hitting the way that I would like it to. So we're going to go in with Northern Lights. I don't think I'm going to spray it. I want to see what happens if I don't. Yeah, I think I like that better. So I guess it really did not matter if that matte didn't look good on the lid. I don't know. I mean, okay, I'm going to take that. Okay, hold on. We're going to do it on the other eye just to make my life easier. Like, does this actually look that different from the look I did? Maybe a little bit, because the look I did before was like more of an electric blue with blue haze and the sour grape, you know, topper, but just doesn't feel that different. So what I want to try now is taking the same Northern Light shade and seeing if we get happier if I amp that up a little bit more. I don't know. I think I want a lighter shimmer. I think I want a lighter shimmer in this palette, and I think that is what I feel like I'm missing. I do think the shimmers that are in here are pretty, but I just feel like that's, I don't know, it's not quite perfect. Let me think. Oh, you know what? I might pull in one of my Cyborg. I'm gonna pull in this Voltage Violet shade from the Adept Cyborg Choir palette. It did not make me happier. I'm gonna do the liner on the other eye. I'll come back and show the finished look. I don't know. I just don't love it. Okay, here's the finished look. I've done quite a few things since you saw me last, but here is the look up close. I actually really like how it turned out, but let me tell you what I did. So when I left you, I felt like I needed like a lighter shimmer. I did go over the shade that we had put here, which was Northern Lights from this palette. I did go over that with like the tiniest amount of Binary Beat from the Cyborg Choir palette, just to like, and I just did it like right in the middle, just to add like a little bit more brightness right there, which helped. It did, it helped. Anyways, and then I was like, oh, let me look through and see if I have, since the suns are purple and orange, let me see if I find, or I have a palette that has like a really light orange shimmer to put in the inner corner. And oh, this is, hold on. Okay, there we go, that's better. So I grabbed my Diveroon Cosmetics Gloomy Gardens palette and pulled this orange shimmer, totally forgetting that it basically just reflects like green. Like there's no orange in there, so that was a bust, but whatever. And then I did the same, I just used that one matte shade, Purple Skunk from this palette on the lower lash line. And then, what else was it? Oh, and then I just felt like the liner, the haze liner, after doing all that, it just kind of felt really dull. So I was like, you know what, there's only two shades I haven't used yet in this palette, and it was Purple Goo and Monster Cookie. So I went over the liner with Purple Goo until like right about here, and then Monster Cookie's like over the liner on the inner part. And honestly, that made the whole look for me. I like that tone of purple liner better with this look. I think it's really pretty. So that made me happy. I feel like I like it a lot better now. And yeah, that is it for look number one. I don't know what palette of my April palettes we're going to use next, but you'll see in 0.2 seconds. So I'm going to use the Byredo Mineralscapes palette. I didn't do a dedicated review on this, so I'm just going to share some info on the palette. Just kidding, I would, but I ordered this from Fude Japan because, first of all, if you've been following this palette, it is in stock, out of stock, in stock, out of stock, like so annoying, so annoying. So I ordered it from Fude Japan. I ended up spending more on it, but whatever. Anyways, everything's in Japanese. I'm assuming that's Japanese. I don't know, actually, but it's not in English, so I'm not sure. But the palette is made in Italy, and that's the extent of my knowledge. 12-month open container, and that's it. I don't know anything about ingredients. I have used this palette. I used it once just for like a super quick look when I just needed to like slap some shadow on, so it's a little bit dirty. I hate these like mirrored packaging just for like a filming standpoint. I think they look beautiful in person. But anyways, this is the palette. It has nothing new on the back. Okay, so it is 18 shades. Here you go. I think 2 shades are mattes, if I recall correctly. 2 are mattes. It's this shade, and everything else is either satin, shimmer, a whole bunch of different stuff. Actually, let me see if I can pull up Byredo's site. I don't think they break down the formulas. It says soft, creamy, and lightweight second skin textures deliver rich color payoff in a single stroke and can be easily blended and layered. Yeah, so I don't know. I do feel like there is some formulas in here that are a little bit more sparkly, some that are a little bit more of a satin as far as shimmers go, so I think there's differences in there. I think we'll just have to start with one of the matte shades. I mean, you don't have to, but I think that's what I'm gonna do. I feel like this might be too dark. I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna start with this shade down here, which is High Tide, I think. I think this might be too dark for a transition shade, but let's just find out. Oh no, that works. I mean, I'm gonna probably blend it with a translucent powder, but it's not like quite as dark as I thought it was gonna be. I'm just gonna put a little bit of it on because I don't want it to get way too dark, but if you are an indie eyeshadow lover, I definitely think that this palette is not quite going to pay off as much as, you know. I guess I should say, because there's some indie eyeshadows where people like more of like a softer formula, like, is Viseart indie? I feel like it is, but I feel like this formula is more similar to Viseart. I do feel like Viseart doesn't have a palette that's this expensive. I guess if they did an 18 shade palette, it would probably be this expensive. Okay. Oh, you know what? I can pull their ingredients up on their site. Mica, talc, yeah, talc and mica are in here. So really what the claims to fame on this palette are vibrant color payoff, lightweight and long-lasting texture, soft, creamy, and gliding texture, easily blendable and buildable. So that's what they're claiming. I will say when I did a look the other day, like when I first got this palette, the look I did with it was a very easy, like 2 eyeshadow. Like I straight up fluffed one of the satiny shades all over the lid into the crease and then did the more sparkly shade, tapped over it, called it a day, and it was really pretty and super easy, which is what I'm looking for in a palette like this, which is why when I saw this palette launch, it kind of called to me because I was like, yes, I want something really easy to use, really pretty. I also feel like, you know, sometimes you do other people's makeup and they don't want, or I sometimes do other people's makeup and they don't want something like super textured and reflective and, you know, bright and all that. So I think it's always nice to have something like this. I think we're gonna be, or try to be, adventurous, and we're gonna take this shade down here, which is Matter and Life, and I'm gonna put that onto the outer corner. Let's take this shade up at the top here. What is this? I think Grounding Sky? Oh, maybe I was... This is really confusing. Anyways, trying to figure out the shade names. We're gonna start with this shade up here, which I think is Grounding Sky. And we're gonna fluff it into the crease. It's kind of like a satiny, shimmery shade, so there will be a sheen to it. You know what? This color story kind of reminds me of the Ghost Town USA palette from Nomad, with the cool neutrals and stuff, or cool earthy tones, I guess. Because there's not neutrals, there's blue and green in here, but you get what I'm saying. If you're using shimmers like I am, I definitely recommend doing your eyes first, just because I'm not spraying the brush, so the shimmer fallout is definitely way more intense than I would say like a matte fallout would be. Now I'm going to go in with that really dark teal shade. This is a really pretty color. So I'll be honest, I picked this one up because it intrigued me almost as, like, kind of as much as the Izumaya Industrial 2.0 did, where it was just like there was something about it that was sort of speaking to me, and I love that Izumaya palette. If you've watched my channel or in my rankings, you know that. That was one of my favorite palettes from last year, so I thought, okay, maybe this will be the same, and it's not exactly the same. I would say it's more similar to my Viseart palettes, but it is pretty. I'm not mad about it, but it's pretty. It's pretty. We'll just leave it at that. So when I used this the first time, I didn't use any like spray or anything. I'm gonna try that, to use that this time, like spraying my brush, just because I think it'll be interesting to see how these work with a little help, a little boosty boost. So I'm taking the shade down here, which is, I don't know what shade, River Mist, I think. And that ended up being darker than I pictured. Whoopsies. Oh well. I really didn't think that was gonna be that dark. I'm gonna go in with this top shade up here, which is, I think, Steel Light. And I think that's kind of the gist of this part. I am gonna try and put more shades, I think, on the lower lash line, just to continue to play around with these different formulas in different ways, but I'll come back and show you that in a second. Let's do the lower lash line. I'm gonna use the greens just because I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like it'll go. So I'm gonna start with this darkest green up here, which is, I think, Painting Land. And I'm gonna go for the next lighter green next to it, which is Sandstone, I think. And take my same brush that I used with the translucent powder earlier and just go right around the edges. Now, I don't know if this palette has a shade that is quite special enough for my own personal taste in the inner corner. Nah, I'm just gonna do it. We're gonna go in with the shade that the like lighter gold shade, what was that again? Steel Light, that we put on the lid. I'm just gonna do that in the inner corner, I think. That is a very bright pop in the inner corner, I will say that. Wait. Okay, so I just need to clean this up, lashes, lips, and then I'll come back and show the finished product. Here is the finished look. I will say, as I was kind of like finishing up the look before I did the rest of my makeup, I was sort of like, I don't know about this. I'm not sure if I'm really feeling it, but I really like the look now that everything's come together. I think it turned out really pretty. Just to give like quick thoughts on this palette, I do think I could have done this exact look with my Ghost Town USA palette. Like, I think, maybe not the exact look, but we could have come pretty freaking close. Let me hold the palettes up side by side, but I feel like I could have. The shimmers in the Ghost Town palette are definitely more sparkly, more special, but I definitely feel like you can apply them in a way that you get just like a subtle shimmer on them. Some of the shades in this palette did crease on me, so I don't think these will crease as much because they're not quite as of that creamy emollient, like super sparkly finish. Anyways, I wanted to point that out because the Ghost Town USA palette is like significantly cheaper, so if you liked this color story, out of the two, I'd recommend the Nomad Ghost Town one over this one. I think it's pretty. It's not hitting the same for me as like my Viseart palettes or that is a Maya Industrial 2.0 palette. So those palettes that are, you know, more luxurious, price tag, like different, more subtle kind of formula. I just feel like this is nice. And I think it's really pretty. And I think what I've heard, and I could be wrong, but I thought what I heard about this palette is that it's over time as your, like the oils, natural oils of your eyelid kind of mix with the shadows, it's supposed to kind of continue to look beautiful. Like it's supposed to add to the look, and maybe that's why as the day went on, as I was finishing up my makeup, I liked it more. I don't know, but anyways, I just don't think this is worth the price tag. Is sort of my opinion on it. But I tried a new brand. You know, it's not as they can't all be, you know, home runs like Azamaya was. But anyways, that's it for this look. Let's move on to the BellaBeauteBar Secret Garden palette. Last look of the video. We are going to be playing with the BellaBeauteBar Secret Garden palette. First things first, I am wearing the Rose Quartz wig from Chelsea Smith Crowns. I need to thin it out. It's a little bit of a too thick of a density for me, but I didn't feel like doing that today. And also, my son is napping, and so I only have so much time to film this. And I'm also talking a little bit quieter than normal because he's napping in the next room, and I don't want to wake him up, even though he has a shusher and a white noise machine going. But anyways, first look we did was with the neutrals. We used the shade Serenity, and then we did a teal kind of pop. I want to focus on the pink mattes. Do I want to do... Oh, part of me wants to do like a monochromatic pink look over here. But are we losing out? I feel like I need to... Okay, I think I know what I want to do. we're gonna use the pinks first. And I think I went lightest to darkest in the last look. So let's try darkest to lightest, see if that works. Just to show if this palette can go both ways. I'm gonna start with the shade Strawberry, this dark pink down here. And my lids are primed with the About Face Shadow Fix Primer, as always. And we're gonna go into the shade Damask right there, that like hot pink. And I'm just gonna stamp along the edges, just because I liked the berry tone of the other one, and I don't want to lose that by blending too much. And I'm turned this way because this palette is gigantic, and if I faced forward it would cover the entire view, although I do that anyway, so maybe I'm just getting better at filming and learning that turning sideways while applying the shadows is easier. I'm going to take the shade Rose. I think I prefer that pink to that one for this look, maybe. Yeah, I think so. I'm just going to lightly blend along the edge. If you notice any bumps or anything, that is because I got my eyebrows done yesterday, and my skin's always kind of sensitive the day after. But maybe a little carried away on the other side, but that's okay. This skinny little fluffy brush and the shade Water Lily, this like bright green, and put that right here. That is really pretty. I like that a lot. Shimmer time. Gosh, that was easy too. I feel like I said that with the first look too. Didn't I do it? And I was like, oh my gosh, that took like 2 seconds. Anyways, we're gonna go in with the shade Daydream, which is this one here. Sorry, I struggle to read the font of these shade names. I almost wish I just left that like the green matte. I feel like that took away from it, but that's okay. All good. We're just having fun. And then I'm gonna go into the shade Flora. Oh my god, I literally can't read. And I'm wetting my brush with setting spray each time. Oh gosh, that shade is like the hottest of pinks. I love it. I think it has an orange flip to it too. I don't even care. That hot pink. That is the hot pink shimmer of that dreams are made of. If you have dreams about hot pink shimmers, I guess. I need to watch people's videos with this palette because I intentionally didn't, because I wanted to try it, review it, all the things first. But now I need to go watch people's videos and see what looks that they did, because this palette has been an absolute blast to work with. I'm gonna do one last fun little thing. We're gonna do a liner, a shadow wing with one of these green shades. I'm kind of feeling this one down here. Imagine it's a multi-chrome that looks like teal, green, like blue. I'm putting it on like an angled brush. We're gonna spray this as well. And since I need to get up close and personal, I'm gonna grab a smaller. When I swatched these shades, they were so smooth and creamy. I was like, ooh, those would be really good. Like a multi-chrome moment. Which, if you want an extra like look idea, one of my favorite things to do is like one matte on the lid, fluffed into the crease, and then a shadow wing with it. Oh gosh, something. It's like more of a simple look, but oh, it's so pretty. Especially if you have this palette, there's the neutrals in it. I mean, if you have multi-chromes in a different palette, you could always do it. But anyways, I just think it would be so freaking fun. I feel like smoother shadows are easier to do this with versus like trying to make a textured shadow work for a liner. Where there's a will, there's a way. If you have a textured shadow and you've been able to make it work as a liner, kudos to you, my friend. I think if you put down like a black eyeliner first, you could probably get that, like use a textured one a little bit easier. But this, I don't think needed a black liner first. It would make it pop more probably, but I feel like this looks good all on its own. And I can see the shift from like teal to like lime green on the eye. Oh, it's so pretty. Okay. I'm gonna go back in with Water Lily, that like bright green, just to build that up a little bit more. All right, I think that's gonna be it. I don't know that I'm gonna get too wild on the lower lash line because we've got kind of a lot going on. I think I might just pull in the pinks. So I'll come back and show you the finished look. Here's the finished look. I am obsessed with it. Like, I like it so much. I think all I did so I did the same mattes that I did up top, on bottom, including that green matte, but the only thing I did off camera was this shade Butterfly, this green shimmer I put in the inner corner, and I just feel like that spiced everything up, and I love it. I love this palette. I love this look. This look and this palette win out of April for the 3 palettes. Like, this is the favorite look that I did. This is my favorite palette of the 3 palettes that I purchased. I did receive the Viseart Paris Reverie Étendue palette in PR, and I think I featured it. If I haven't featured it yet, I will feature it in a makeup diaries video. But let me know if going forward on these, if you want me to just like doing these like revisiting the palettes I purchased video. Do you want me to just do revisiting palettes I purchased, or should it just be all the new palettes? So like including PR in that? I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below. I think it's nice sometimes to just do a video of like, here's what I purchased, and give you my thoughts overall on the 3 purchases. To give you my thoughts overall of my 3 purchases, I probably should not have picked up the Byredo palette. And I knew that as I was buying it, that I was probably not going to like it. I feel like Teresa is Dead talked about how much she hated a Byredo palette that she tried a while back, and I just ignored that and bought it anyway. But I'm like, it's okay. I think it's fine quality. Like I said, it's the mattes blended really nicely, but there's only 2 of them. The shimmers are just not, like, even with spraying them, they just don't hit the same. Like, they just don't get that much sparklier. They just stay really subtle. So I don't know. It's not my favorite. I will say that I do like how the looks, like, they look very elegant as the day goes on. As you wear them, they like kind of sink into the eye, and there's just a fanciness to them. I don't know what word I'm looking for, but elegance I feel like would be the best fit. But that's just not my makeup aesthetic most days. I think like I'll like using it for work, but typically I reach for my Viseart palettes for work anyway, and I like using those better. So anyways, I probably shouldn't have purchased that one. I do like the Melt one. I pretty much collect Melt palettes, so even though it's not like my favorite of the Melt palettes, I'm not mad that I purchased it. This one I was iffy on purchasing. I am so glad I did it. I absolutely love this color story. Love everything about it. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the 3 palettes that I picked up in the month of April. Let me know which look was your favorite down in the comments, and I will see you all next time.